Predators currently find themselves in 8th place in the Central Division after 12 games skated. Their record of 4-7-1, 9 points has them 13 points behind first place Winnipeg at this early point in the season on the road, which the Predators' next 2 games will take place. The Predators have a record of 1-1-1 so far. They've scored 29 on the season. They've given up 41. The goal differential overall of -12. Now, the Central Division standings, their most recent update, the Winnipeg Jets, I mentioned, are in first place, continuing to be off to a red-hot start. What team wouldn't want to be 11-1 after the first 12 games with 22 points, and in first place by 4 points over the Minnesota Wild, who have 18 points. Dallas Stars have 14 points, and then you'll find the Utah Hockey Club at 13. St. Louis Blues in 5th place at 12. Chicago's got 11. Colorado's got 10. The Preds in last place in the division with 9 points overall. Now, for the Predators, first night of back-to-backs, this time in Washington. We'll break down the Caps game here in just a second, but let's talk about what the Preds go up for after this game, and it's an immediate trip to Florida to play against easily one of the best teams in the NHL, the Florida Panthers. So a back-to-back, Washington night 1, Florida the second night, back home to face off against the Utah Hockey Club on Saturday on the 11th of November. It is at Colorado the 14th, at Edmonton the 15th, at Calgary. That's the CMA road trip. You know the one, and it's going to be as important as it's ever been this time around. We'll talk more about that later on. The season series between the Preds and the Washington Capitals, one of 2 games, is the one we're previewing. The second game will take place January the 11th of 2025. Those numbers used to sound so science fiction. Now they don't at all. They're coming up very soon. So January the 11th of 2025, the Preds will host the Washington Capitals here at Bridgestone Arena. Let's talk about that Capitals team that the Predators are going off to face on Wednesday night. 8-3-0 on the season, 16 points, has them 4th place overall in the Metropolitan Division. 6-1 on the home rink, though. That is dominant. 46 goals for, 33 goals against, the goal differential of +13. In their most recent stretch of action to see how they're doing currently, on the 26th of October, we find a 3-0 loss at Tampa Bay. On the 29th, a 5-3 win versus the New York Rangers. On the 31st of October, a 6-3 win versus Montreal. And on the 2nd of November, a 7-2 win versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Most recently, on the 3rd of November, so they had back-to-backs. The second night of the back-to-back, picking up a 4-2 loss in Carolina. So again, on home ice, 5-3 over the Rangers, 6-3 over Montreal, 7-2 over Columbus, their last 3 home games. So please take note of that. 6-1 again on the home rink, and the Predators so far not off to the best start this season. So let's get into the numbers between these two teams in this particular matchup at this exact moment in the season. The goals for category is dramatically led by the Washington Capitals. So let me give you the Preds number first for dramatic effect. 2.42 for the Nashville Predators. Goals per game is 29th rated overall in the league, while the Washington Capitals 4.18 is 3rd overall in the league in goals for per game. The Caps are also top 10 in the league in goals against, giving up 3 per game even. That's 10th overall. The goals against for the Predators are 3.42, which is 24th. So the Predators giving up a full goal a game more than they are scoring. In the shots category, shots on net category, the Predators were near the tops of the league for a couple of weeks. They are slowly dipping backward now, especially after the most recent performance. 32.7, though, is still good for 4th in the NHL. 29.6 for this Washington team is 14th in the shots against category. 28.4 for Nashville is 13th. 27 for Washington is 5th. So this is the 3rd consecutive team that's had a very low shots against volume, and the Predators have been struggling to penetrate and break through those particular metrics. So 5th in the league in shots against are what the Washington Capitals are. So something to watch for. The Predators have had trouble with special teams. Let's talk about it. Washington's power play, it's not so great, converting at 10.8%, 30th in the NHL, only 4 conversions out of 37 opportunities, while the Predators' power play is doing better, converting at 22%, 13th best in the league, 9 conversions out of 41 opportunities. Both top 10 in the penalty kill, but the Predators are substantially ahead in the top 10. Hard to do that, but you'll understand. 92.1% is 2nd overall in the NHL. 3 power play goals against on the penalty kill, while the Washington Capitals are killing off 84.6%. That's 8th best in the NHL. They've given up just 6 6 power play goals against this season. Now, when it comes to the individual statistics leaders, let's talk about the top 5 scorers for each of these teams. What do you say we start on the visiting side, Nashville Predators? Philip Forsberg, 6 goals and 4 assists for 10 total points. Ryan O'Reilly's at 3 and 6 for 9. Nyquist is at 4 and 3 for a total of 7 points. Marchessault is at 2 goals and 5 assists for 7 points. And the captain, Roman Josi's at a goal and 6 assists for 7 total points. Over on the home team side of things for this matchup, the Washington Capitals, Strome off to an incredible start this season. 4 goals, 13 assists, 17 points. Ovechkin continues marching towards Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record, now has 7 more this season, and typically does quite well against the Nashville Predators. He also has 7 more assists this season for 14 total points, second on the Caps in scoring. McMichael is at 7 and 5 for 12. Protas, 4 and 7 for 11. And Wilson has 6 goals, 3 assists for 9 total points. Anticipated goaltender matchup. Check this out. Thompson, 5-0 on the season at 2.97 goals against average and 8.94 save percentage, and just on a roll right now. UC Saros, not the same. 3-6 and 1, 2.83 goals against average, 9.02 save percentage, and 1 shutout on the season. Listen, that's got you all set up for the Predators at the Washington Capitals. It's the first night of back-to-backs for the Preds. That is always significant, always important, and with the Predators crashing out on their most recent homestand, it is going to be curious to see how Andrew Brunette deploys his lines and D combinations. First night of back-to-backs allows him a little bit of breathing room to go ahead and shift some things around that maybe he wouldn't normally try. It's about time to start trying those things, and you're going to find out more about that coming up next. It's the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We got to go back to Bridgestone Arena on Monday night. We got to check in on what happened between the Predators and the LA Kings. It's coming up next, right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.